Good evening, everyone. The topic I chose for TPSP is Hey Little Ant. The ant I'm going to be studying is longhorn crazy ant species. More than 14,000 ant species. There are more than 14,000 ant species. They're as small as this grain of sand to as big as 1.5 inches long. More than 250 native species in Texas play an important role in different habitats. Not all ants are beneficial. Some are invasive species. For example, red and footed fire ants are harmful for other native ants in Texas. Longhorn crazy ants. They're recognized by their extremely long legs and antennae. They're called longhorn crazy ants because their antennae are so long that they look like horns. They're known as black crazy ant because instead of following in straight line like other ants do, they dash around erratically. Their lifespan is about 2 years. Diet. They consume both protein and plant matter during their life cycle. They're omnivores and scavengers, which means they'll almost eat anything like fruit, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Their favorites are dragonflies, butterflies, and mosquitoes. Behavior. Colonies of longhorn crazy ants make their nests in a wide range of either dry or damp sites. Workers emerge to forage. The location of ant nests can be identified by watching the ants carrying food back to the colony. Environment and habitat. They live mostly in tropical and subtropical areas. They like Central America, the Amazon, and the cloud forest. They also like islands like Madagascar, Hawaii, and the Philippines, as you can see on the map. This is the ant life cycle. The queen ant lays eggs. The eggs hatch into larvae. Then the larvae turn into pupa, if some ants turn into queen ants. I made a model of it right here. Characteristics. They live in long-term colonies with the majority worker ants. The worker ant is about up to 2.3 million to 3 millimeters long. They jasper a faint blue iridescence. Workers have 12 segmented antennae with no club. Small circles of hair present to the tip of the abdomen. They're able to lift 10 times their weight. Ant colonies. Found living in soil. They're found living in soil, under wooden debris, logs, and landscape timbers. This is a model of an ant mound underground. As you can see, when the queen lays eggs, the worker ants take the eggs and put it in the egg hatchery. Then when the eggs turn into larvae, the workers take the ants and the larvae are moved to the nursery room. Then when the larvae are ready to turn into pupa, they take it and put it in the larva alternative pupa room. This is where they keep their ant trash. This is the seed storage room where they store all the seeds and food. This is a barn for aphids. They keep aphids because the aphids like to eat plants, and the ants take them to plants, and they eat it, and they produce a type of honeydew that the ants will need for food. It's a symbiotic relationship. This is like I did an experiment. This was experiment number 1. It said how much time it would take the ants to carry breadcrumbs into their ant mounds. It took about 35 seconds for one ant to carry the breadcrumb. As you can see, there is one ant right here. This is experiment number 2. I had to create an ant farm, observe what the ants do, and see how they create ant mounds. As you can see here, there are some holes that they created to live, and you can see the holes right here. Conclusion: control crazy ants. Longhorn crazy ants need to be controlled because they're not good for the ecosystem. They kill bees, butterflies, ladybugs, and etc., which are good for the ecosystem. And they kill trees while eating their bark and which damages the environment. Longhorn crazy ant populations need to be controlled. Thank you for listening to my presentation.